Go. Alright. You good?
Yep.
Recording. We're recording. Let's do this. Welcome, everybody, to the 5th episode of the Deserted Gamer Podcast with us. I laugh and just say us because I may or may not be changing my name like literally today on my main channel. So, yeah. This will likely be going up on Tuesday, November 5th, which is Election Day. And my YouTube channel name will likely no longer be VG Reader, but VG Preserve. And I wanted to change that name because the original focus of VG Reader was to literally just read through game manuals, and nobody watched it, nobody cared. So then I shifted focus a little bit, and I really wanted to have the name be more analogous with my credentials, my professional and educational credentials, which are in historic preservation, and then also my shift in goals of the channel. So VG Reader made a lot less sense as time has gone on. So I am likely now under the name VG Preserve. And we have homeboy, the homie Brian, a.k.a. Crepuscular Sky, a.k.a. the man who gifted me the Castlevania collection. Bada boom.
Thank you for the introduction.
Yeah.
My channel name's staying the same. I don't got anything else. I'm going to change my name to Bartholomew, the video game boy. That's my new channel name.
Can you please be that? Bartholomew, the video game boy? God, that would be fire. I know Bartholomew is your middle name, though.
It is. So. It is very much not.
All right. So, last time when we talked, I had mentioned a certain game that I like to play a lot of. And I saw there was some new DLC that came out for it, and then when they released the new DLC, they immediately start hyping up the next one. And I haven't had a chance to play it in a bit because I haven't had a lot of free time for games, and I always feel the need to, when I'm playing games, I gotta record them for videos, whatever. So, but that game is none other than American Truck Simulator, which is just a phenomenal experience. I love it.
It's just pure gaming, pure peak fiction.
It is truly pure gaming, in the purest sense. And I'll be honest with you guys, I know a lot of people mod that game, and there's a whole lot of mods that you can do for it. I just play it pure, man.
Yeah.
I just play it pure, no mods. I don't put on any of the crazy crashes or traffic. I've seen that stuff. I get it. Maybe sometime. But for right now, the vanilla unmodded American Truck Simulator with the DLC, obviously. I'm not just, screwing around in 3 states. But the unmodded version of the game is still phenomenal for me. I have over 100 hours on it, and it is truly what I would call a guilty pleasure game. Though, of course, earlier, Mr. Brian, before we started recording, you said there ain't nothing to be guilty about with that one.
There's nothing to be guilty about. Even if you're raw dogging American Truck Simulator, right? No mods, no nothing. Nothing to be guilty about.
Yeah.
It's like I said, it's pure peak fiction.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what would you say, other than, of course, visual novel games with anime girls, it's your guilty pleasure game?
Is this how it comes out? I have 3,000 hours in Honey Pop.
I know you do, man. I've got you on Steam. I see that. Brian played Honey Pop for 248 hours this past week.
Straight.
Somehow. Because there's only 168 hours in a week, but somehow, man, you bend time to fit that game in there.
Yeah.
So.
How to get...
I don't even know what that fucking game's about. I'm gonna be honest, man.
It's just some.
I know. It's like. I know. It's like. It's. I don't know if it's pure that, or if it's like borderline, but
I also thought that was a game about little girls, right? Wasn't it like a screwed up, like it's like pornographic and it's about like underage girls?
No, I think it's. At least from my understanding, I thought it was very much adult women.
Okay. Well, it's probably.
At least I hope so.
You know
because
how anime is.
People play that shit was like a trend on YouTube for a while.
You know how anime is, though, dog. They be having girls. It's like, oh, she's actually 300 years old, but she looks like a 7-year-old.
yeah. It's,
you know. So I don't know if it's one of them or what.
Yeah. Well, I sure hope not. Anyway, Yeah, I don't know.
Today we learned that you don't know you don't know anything about Honey Pop other than
I
the fact
do
that
not.
it's a pornographic game.
Yeah. Guilty pleasure game.
Yeah.
See, the issue for me is I don't really have guilty pleasure things, specifically because I don't feel guilt for enjoying like games and music and shit. So
Well, yeah.
I guess like the closest would be some games that people would just consider to not be great. Maybe from like the 2000s.
Yeah, what's a game that like people
like-
hate that you like?
Oh, okay. Well, people hate
That I like Final Fantasy 15. Absolutely adore
There you
that
go.
game.
People
even
hate
at
that
launch. Yeah, a lot of people do not like Final Fantasy 15 because it released in a I want to say unfinished state because it's very much the story still makes sense. Like a lot of people
Right.
said, like after they basically what happened was they released the game and then throughout the many years they would put updates to the game and they eventually released like I think it was 5 DLC and they were gonna do like I think it was like 3 more, and
Right.
then they also released a was the Windows version, which is called the Royal Edition now, or on console,
It's called Royal.
or the Royal Edition, which
Yeah,
added,
but
added like a whole bunch
Persona
of new
5,
content.
bro.
Yeah, Persona 5 I think was late to the party on that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, which like added a bunch of shit, like it like redid a few of the scenes and like added a bunch of new content, like it added some like super bosses and shit, and there's like a whole section where you can like drive a boat and everything. But so after that all happened, the prevailing opinion that I would hear on Final Fantasy 15 was that you couldn't understand the story without watching the anime and the movie that was like a tie-in.
Yeah.
And then
That's right.
the other one was that the story was so bad they had to fix it in those DLC and the Royal Edition. The
Right.
thing is, the story is pretty much the main story is pretty much unchanged, right? Like maybe they like added a few like scenes to add some new context for stuff, which I appreciate. Like I really like all the stuff they had with Shiva and Ifrit, like all the backstory there, and it was like
Right.
mainly it was like lore stuff. And the DLC were just like little character episodes that happened when a character would like just be broken off from the main party, and you can clearly tell that they were planned ahead because like there'd just be moments where like a character's like one of them is just like some of them the other two they make them make sense, like they're separate from the party for like story reasons, but legitimately like the first one that happens the character's like I got some shit to deal with, I'll be back soon, and he just leaves.
Yeah.
And it comes back like after the next dungeon, and you're like, but
That's yeah.
yeah,
That's
that was
funny.
the only one where I was like, all right. But all that stuff that happens in those DLC really don't affect the main story at all. Like, sure, they add more
Right.
context to certain things, but again, the core story is the same. You don't need that stuff to understand it. You also don't need the anime or the movie to fully understand it. The main parts of the story are there. And I think the story,
Right.
especially the ending, is very good. I do
Good.
think some of the characters need a little bit more time in the oven, specifically like Luna and Revis and all them. But
Right.
the main 4 are like one of the best main casts in like anything. Like their dynamic is fantastic.
Yeah, I only got the game when it was like brand new. I got it, I think, for like a Christmas or something when it came out, and I didn't play it for that long, but I did not immediately hate all the characters, which is, sometimes I feel like that's how Final Fantasy is, where you're just like, oh my god, But I enjoyed what I played of it. I just didn't get a chance to ever really play it too much.
Yeah, it's definitely a hit or miss game for a lot of people. It's very much a hit game for me. I loved it.
Yeah.
I did not like the DLC, like those DLC episodes, because it started to veer into like some alternate universe, like we got to rewrite the story of the game kind of shit. And
Yeah.
it started to there was like the 3 DLC that was supposed to like finish off that kind of part of the story. They canceled. and
Oh.
they wrote a book that was apparently about like what that story would have been. And if that was the case, I would have hated those DLC because it completely undermined like the whole themes of the game.
Oh man. Well, that's a shame, but I guess it happens. It sounds like they were kind of bit off a little more than they could chew on that one.
Yeah, I mean, there's the whole thing of it being in development hell, it being Versus 13 for a while, which I know a lot of people are disappointed didn't come out, but from what I hear,
Right.
There wasn't really much to come out. It was just a bunch of trailers, and then Tetsuya Nomura had to work on some other shit. I think probably Kingdom Hearts and maybe the 7 remake. I don't know when that started.
More like Kingdom Farts, am I right? Yo.
No, you are not right. Listen, man. We were talking about last episode. We were talking about like funny voice acted scenes in like games. I was so upset I can't talk to you about certain Kingdom Hearts ones because you haven't experienced them. Because some of those are great.
Oh yuck! Oh yuck! Oh yuck!
The Harlot. No, but like one of them from the first Kingdom Hearts. In Neverland. It was like,
which is about as far as I got.
Sora meets up with Riku, who's like his friend and rival for like the first time in a bit in the game, and like Riku says something about like the Heartless are listening to me now, and Sora just goes like, "You're stupid."
And then what's the Roxas is in our hearts or whatever.
Okay, that one's from Kingdom Hearts 3, and that one is actually like an actual lore story point, like because they're trying to say Roxas wasn't real, and Sora's like, no, like his heart is legitimately in my body. But yeah, the one that I love that you never got to experience, unfortunately, is in Kingdom Hearts 2. At the very beginning of the game, they do like this very like trippy kind of like you're understanding that like something weird's going on in this like intro segment, and it's really good. It's really well done. But like the first thing that happens is like one of the characters is like are gone, and like everyone's like they took our, and like it's like a blank, and it's like they took not only the thing but they took the word too. Like that's like the whole like premise, and you're like how the hell they take the word. But there's a line in there from one of the characters where it was very clear that she was supposed to say it as like two separate sentences. Where she's supposed to go, you can't say, why not? But her like she just says it like really fast. She just goes, you can't say, why not?
Oh dear, yeah.
And it's great. I love that. I love early 2000s voice direction in games.
Yeah, dude, it's Mario Sunshine.
Mario Sunshine, Jack 2, Kingdom Hearts, all great.
So I saw our buddy Devin yesterday, and we went to a pumpkin patch, because what else do you do? Mind you this, it's, we're here in Arizona, and yesterday was October 26th, and it was, at least it felt like over 100. I think it was in the high 90s, and I'm just like, this isn't fun. Why is it not like cold and rainy, and why can't I get an apple cider? I'm like, why is it 100 freaking degrees? It's October 26th and I'm in a pumpkin patch. I miss a cold, rainy day.
Dog, it was like 40 degrees last night here, so...
Yeah, well, it's going to drop this week again, and I hope it just actually stays down, because it dropped here.
What is the standard low in Arizona? Like,
so
not like desert low, but you know what I mean.
Well, the temperatures shift 30 degrees every day. Like, it's crazy. So today, right, in the valley, in the Phoenix area, I've got a low of 61 and a high of 94. Right? Like, crazy shifts. But then later in the week, we're going all the way down. This is literally in like 3 days, like on Wednesday. We've got a low of 46 and a high of 73. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know how you live there, man.
I don't know either. We don't intend to stay forever by any means, me and my girlfriend. So we do, she's from the East Coast as well, and we do intend to move back after a while, because it's just, it's too much sometimes. Yeah. And, this is the weekend before Halloween. Like, this is the weekend to go to a pumpkin patch, and lo and behold, it's 96 degree high. Yeah. And it's like, come on.
To be fair, like, to be fair, in Pennsylvania, it's also hot as shit. Like,
yeah, I did see some
it's
like
it's not been a cold fall.
Yeah, that there's gonna be some like highs in the 80s in Philly like this coming week, and I'm like, dude.
Yeah, like like this past week, it has been like stagnate or not stagnating. It's been like switching between like the like fucking 70-degree weather and like 40 to 50-degree weather.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a transitional month for sure, and in Arizona, it's just it's crazy. But last weekend we had the windows open the whole weekend. It was like highs in the 70s, and we got the house all the way down to 65 degrees. And yes, we do enjoy that. And sweatpants, and it rained on Saturday morning, and like we went out to breakfast, and we had like a nice like cold rainy breakfast morning. And I was like, man, I cannot wait for us to move back to the East Coast, and this can just be a thing that we do all the time.
Yeah.
So, anyways, enough about the weather. But dude, I just to wrap that up, Arizona's nuts. It is nuts out here.
Fucking Zonians, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about Devin and the pumpkin patch.
Yeah. Oh, I saw him. That's right. This is where this all leads back to voice acting. So we went to this pumpkin patch, and we were cutting pumpkins and or carving pumpkins later, and for some reason we just get on to the track of going, "Here comes a big one," from Jack and Dexter. I love that guy. Fish guy.
Oh god.
I love that. Jack 1 is so phenomenal. I've never actually really played Jack 2 or 3, so.
I don't like the games themselves. Like, or Jack. I love Jack 1. I've mentioned that before.
Yeah.
I think Jack 1 is like one of the best 3D platforms ever made.
It's
Jack
great,
2,
yeah.
Yeah, Jack 2 and 3, not a fan of. I really don't like them.
Yeah.
Went some weird GTA route with them. And,
right.
Jack 2 especially is hard as nails.
Yes. Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, but the characters and the voice acting, phenomenal.
Of course.
And like the setting and everything. I still love how, like I think I mentioned this the last episode, I still love how the first time you hear Jack talk, he has that really deep, gruff voice.
Yes,
and
I was going to bring that up, yeah.
If you listen to Jack 2, like any male character in Jack 2 that's not from Jack 1 sounds like that. They have the same, like, we gotta stop praxis. Like, they have the same, like, deep, like they're swallowing, they're gargling with gravel for the past, like, 30 years. Like, that's...
I eat a bowl of nails every morning.
Yeah. That's without any milk. And that's how every male character sounds in that game, if they weren't in Jack 1. But that's the first time you hear, like, somebody, like a major character talk, if I remember correctly, that's, like, new.
Yeah.
Talking is Jack. So, like, before that, it's still, like, the Jack 1 voices, and Daxter's the exact same, so you just hear, like, throughout the game, you just hear Jack just, like, I can handle it on my own, and Daxter's just like, whoa, Jack! Like, it's, like, the whole time. That's so good. I think it's crazy how, Daxter pulls a full human lady in that game.
Classic,
like,
right? Dude, why is every, like, early 2000s... Why is every, like, early 2000s, like, movie and game like that, like, B-movie? Bro, don't even get me started on that.
Alright, listen.
You telling me Barry B. Benson is on your Hear Me Out cake or whatever? You know that trend? Do you know that trend?
About it, but I know Hear Me Out.
Well, all right. So there's this thing that it's probably already a dead trend because I'm over the age of 15 now. But and I can think about things for more than 3 minutes without them fluttering away from my mind. But I saw videos of people doing this thing where them and their partners would say, like, "Hear me out," and they would have, like, a little popsicle stick with characters on. Oh, we can make this a topic, bro. We can do it right now. All right,
I made a whole video. I did a
I know you
pass challenge for the Dark Souls bosses.
Right. So this could be your Hear Me Out cake for sure. So we don't gotta get a cake or going or anything. Obviously, we're talking across 3 time zones, so there's no cake here. But
Yeah.
So anyway. And you have like characters on popsicle sticks, and you say "Hear me out," and then you put the popsicle stick in the cake, and then it like builds this kind of collage of characters that you and your partner would not mind engaging in coitus with. So,
Yeah.
So Brian,
the lady car from Cars.
dude, so many people talk about Sally, and I saw this one guy. He was like Sally, and then he paused and he goes, "Stick it right in the exhaust." Oh my god!
What's crazy is that was my like. As you were saying that, my brain went, "How would they even work?" And I was like, "I guess the exhaust."
Yep. Did you see the movie Robots as a kid?
Yes, I was the game
Fanny.
too.
Aunt Fanny.
Oh, Aunt Fanny. Ahead of their time.
Somebody said Aunt Fanny. This is so funny. So Brian,
She's baking cookies.
Brian, give me 3 video game characters exclusively. Try and not do like cartoons and stuff. And it's got to be stuff that's not like super obvious, right? Like, people who do this and they're like, "Oh, Mrs. Incredible." Like, I shut up. Everybody thinks that. Shut up.
I'm trying to think of like, oh man, I'm trying to think of like what would be an actual like shock.
But it doesn't have to be so shocking. It's not like, "Oh, Brian, you want to screw Grimer from Pokemon?" Like, all right, bro. Like,
It's the Big Daddies from Bioshock.
Yeah, right. Like, you don't need to do that. All right. Big Daddy. God, that's so funny. I mean, I can give you one. I can start off with one.
God, I'm trying to think of. Like, I'm legitimately trying to think of characters, but go ahead, yeah.
All right, I have 2 on the mind. I'll have to think of a third, but the one that's very easy for me is Gardevoir, because I used to always get Ralts, and I loved Ralts and Curly and Gardevoir.
That Gardevoir and Lopunny are the two like they gave Lopunny in like their Mega Evolution. Like they gave them ripped tights. Like
on, dog. Doesn't Gardevoir Mega Evolve now too?
Yeah.
I don't even know what she looks like, but let's look it up.
That was their Gardevoir is I think the champion from Gen 6, like the X and Y. I think
has
their
big
ace
Gardevoir.
Was a Mega Gardevoir.
Yeah. Okay, so it looks like she just gets a little like flare like up around her hair. It doesn't look like she changes too much, but yeah, anyway, Gardevoir is easily on mine. So go ahead, buddy. Tell me it's the king from Katamari.
I mean, he's got the bulge, dog.
He's got that bulge, bro. I know he's on your list.
I mean, like, there's ones that's like, I feel like it'd be a cop out, but you got like Quelaag from Dark Souls, which is
who's
upper
that?
half. Upper half is like a beautiful lady. Bottom half is a disgusting spider.
How do you spell it?
Quelaag, I think.
Quelaag. Let's see. Chaos Witch Quelaag.
Yeah.
Yeah, but bruh, you tell me you're gonna engage in coitus with this thing?
It's like you can use the top half. I
don't Don't tell me that's on the cake, man.
And then actually, my go-to as like a joke is always Asylum Demon from Dark Souls, because he's got that big booty.
Asylum Demon.
Yeah.
Dark Souls 1?
Yeah, Dark Souls 1.
Let's see. Oh my god. Thicky.
That's my go-to, like when people talk, like when they're always like you mentioned, or be like hear me out, and it's like fucking like Dexter's mom from Dexter's Laboratory.
Yeah, but that's kind of obvious, right? You know?
Yeah. Like that's my go-to. Like, now this is a real hear me out. It's the picture I have for the thumbnail for that video is Asylum Demon blushing.
Like, that's so funny. That's right. I have seen. I know what video you're talking about. Yeah. My other pick, because I had Sonic Rush when I was a kid, is Blaze the cat, like through and through.
Yeah, I feel like.
I'm not a Rouge fan. I'm a Blaze fan, but anyway.
There's one for me that I think teeters on that edge of like, come on, like that's not really like a hear me out. But because it's a furry character, and I'm not a furry.
I mean, yeah, Blaze the cat's also a furry character. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's Carmelita from Sly Cooper.
Oh, Carmelita, Sly Cooper. Yeah, see, this totally counts, right? Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude,
so
listen, there's a moment in Sly 3 where she like becomes a giant for some fucking reason. And you gotta like knock this mask off her that's turned her evil and shit.
Right. Wait, Majora's Mask? Yeah.
You gotta climb up her like legs and like her jacket and stuff to like
get
the mask. And
yeah.
And let me just say, she's wearing some skinny fucking jeans.
Yeah, no kidding, huh?
At that moment, I'm like, okay, all right.
Yeah, no, I mean that counts, right?
Me was like,
thought that's why I keep saying like, oh, I always had like Gardevoir in Pokemon as a kid. I played, like Sonic Rush as a kid, and it's like because these seeds are planted in your head like super young,
It's like it's like why everybody's like furry. Hear me out as Lola Bunny.
Of course, and people did like, put that.
It's because they have her like bending over.
Yes,
like full on ass shots, and you're like,
why do I feel something? Yeah. So this totally counts. Yeah, because like it's like okay, yeah, like you're not a furry, but then it's like you have those like kind of intrusive thoughts, and like I'm also totally not a fucking furry, but then I see like Blaze the cat, and I'm like, yeah, she's cute. So
there was also one that's like it's not really to hear me out because I'm more attracted to the character after,
right?
But Midna from Twilight Princess.
Yeah, Midna's.
I had a crush on her as a kid.
Yep.
Not really the imp form, but as like her personality, and then when she like becomes like her true form. But that one's not really hear me out because that one's like. Of course.
Yeah. I was gonna say like well, I know what you meant though, like that you mean like little Midna, but anyway, Well, I should say little when we're talking about coitus. So
like Imp Midna.
Imp Midna, yeah.
I didn't really have a crush. They do give her a lot of ass shots in that game.
Yes. That's the other thing, dude. Is it's like like it's fed to you, so, like.
Yeah, but I mean, like again, like I've never had the crush on Imp Midna. It was more the like true Midna, like her actual form.
Yeah.
But again, that one is not really hear me out because that one's like her true form is like, oh, of course.
She's she's pretty fine. So anyway, the other one then, if we're talking like Zelda like girl companion characters, the freaking
just the fucking ball with wings.
Navi? No. I meant the Rito girl from Wind Waker, because I played Wind Waker the Twilight Princess. Medley.
Yeah.
Yes. And she's got that cute musical name, like her name's Medley. Like that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's totally a hear me out, but she's like young, so you can't really say it. I'm going to jail.
You were crushing her when you were a kid. Hopefully.
Exactly. When I was a kid. Yeah. So
it's the same thing as like I had a crush on Dawn from Pokemon when I was a kid.
Oh, here's another one, and this isn't really even. Wait. Pokemon police officer Jenny.
Yeah, Officer Jenny.
Oh, yeah. Don't even get me started.
Yeah, I mean, there was but I mean, like, come on. Like,
they're not really hear me outs. They're not really hear me outs.
Yeah, no, they're not hear me outs. Cynthia from like the champion from Gen 4.
Yeah. Dude, she's so fine, bro. Yeah. Cynthia, Pokemon. Yeah, Gen. Yeah. Let me make sure. Yeah, the blonde girl. Yeah, it's not a hear me out.
Every Pokemon game has at least like one gym leader who's just like this adult woman that as a kid I was like, you have like Sabrina from Gen 1.
Yeah.
You have Claire from Gen 2.
Dude, yeah, Claire. That was she 7th gym or something, right?
She's the last gym.
She's the last one. Yeah, that's right. She had cool dragon Pokemon. It's like, what do you expect me to not like this?
She's the only gym leader who, after you beat her, she's like, she's like, nah, you gotta get this key.
Yeah, that's right.
And then Gen 3 has both Winona and Flannery. Gen 4 has Gardenia. Gen 5 has Skyla, who has recently been leaked to be a very beautiful Latina woman, which is great.
Right.
Fantastic.
See, that's why these aren't hear me outs, bro.
Yeah.
What am I gonna
Alessa,
do? Yeah.
Alessa. And then from there on, I'm kind of... Melanie from fucking Gen 8 and Nessa from...
Sword and Shield, what's her name? B?
B as well, yeah.
Yeah, oh god, Thicky. But
yeah. Like I'm saying, every Pokemon game has at least like one adult woman as like a gym leader. That is like, as a kid, I was like, oh damn.
Yeah, of course, right. So those not necessarily hear me out. So that's like with like Officer Jenny from the show. It's like, yeah, dude, she's fucking cute. Like, you know, like it's not really hear me out.
Yeah,
so
she's a human woman. You know,
the hear me outs come. Your Sly Cooper pick is like your best pick for sure, other than the Asylum boss, obviously, and Big Daddy from BioShock. I know that you're all about it. So you're
I love hearing that. So.
I know that your three are Big Daddy from BioShock, the King
He's
from
got Daddy
Katamari.
in the name, dog.
Yeah, the King from Katamari and the Asylum Demon from Dark Souls. Oh boy, what a podcast episode today.
I had to dig real deep for that Smash or Pass video.
I'm sure you did.
For like especially when you get to Bloodborne, you get to like those like Cthulhu monstrosities.
Smash.
Yeah. I was like, there's a lot of tentacles, so I guess.
Maybe. I think it's literally the JonTron. I can make this work.
Yeah, I said that a lot in that video. I was like, I can make it work.
That is so funny. That is so funny. Yeah. Oh, man. Nothing like...
what were we talking about before this?
I don't know. I was just, nothing like some hear me outs. I wanted to just transition into the next topic, just talking about buying games and not talking about... curvy cartoon women that we were subjected to as young children. But
yeah, big booty demons from an asylum.
So, Mr. Brian, back to serious conversations about video games. What is your... So, all right, look. We're gamers, right? You know, do we like to leave the house? Absolutely not, right?
No,
I don't know about
not.
you. Absolutely not.
I had to leave the house for dinner last night, and I hated every second of it.
It's just the worst, isn't it?
Yeah, I had to drive 5 minutes.
It's just the worst, right? Oh, nothing worse than a 5-minute drive.
Yeah, no.
I hate leaving the house too. I love to travel. Don't get me wrong. Like I love to travel, and I love to obviously I've driven across the country 3 times, and I've done all kinds of other road trips. National park stuff, and driven from southern Arizona all the way up to Boulder, Colorado, like crazy things like that. I don't mind that, but that's like a couple times a year, and I I have a long time to mentally prepare myself for. I am leaving the house in X number of days. Otherwise, man, do I hate it. I like running errands. Like I hate it. Right. So my question to you then is, do you have any game stores that you go to, or do you just buy everything online?
Well, nowadays it's buy everything online because there's no like the closest game store, like retro game store, to me is like 30 to 40 minutes away.
It's probably the ones I went to when I near where I grew up.
Yeah, like you
live 30 minutes from where I grew up.
Yeah, they're too far for me to like justify because like I like driving. I love driving. Not so much like on the highway and stuff like that. That one's better because people take me off. But like I love driving like back roads and stuff.
I was gonna say you're in like a more rural
parts of Pennsylvania. I love driving on back roads that are like you're going way too fast on a road that curves like that.
The PSA: drive safe, everybody. Buckle your seatbelt.
Yeah,
Don't listen to this man.
Drive the speed limit. Stop at stop signs.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a
accidentally run
stoptional.
red lights.
Yeah. Oh man.
My dad had a joke where he was like, any stop sign that has
A white outline?
white letters is optional. And I was like, it's all of them.
It's so funny. Yeah.
But like I like driving. I just don't like interacting with people.
Yes.
In person as
Correct.
much. Although I did get, I was wearing when I went to Wawa. That's a pole right there for you. On the East Coast.
Yeah.
I went
yeah.
to Wawa yesterday. The cashier complimented me on my sweatshirt, which is a Kingdom Hearts sweatshirt.
Nice.
The idea that I would inconvenience anybody is a nightmare to me.
I hate it too. I really hate it too. And yeah. Like I hate like taking a long time in line. Like whenever I go and like I'm sure you experience the exact same thing I'm about to say. Whenever I'm like in line, I am laser focused on getting out of there absolutely as fast as possible. Yeah.
No, yep. Like I said, like I was getting food at Wawa and I got rung by the cashier and I took my bag and everything after paying. I was walking away and the cashier was like, "Hey, yo, man, you forgot your slip." And I was like, I was like, "Oh, thanks, man," but in my head I was like, "Shit."
Yeah. And God, yeah, I hate it. And I hate inconveniencing people while driving. Sadly, where I live and where I've always lived is like more urbanized areas, and so I'm always like, I'll just cruise in the right lane. Please go around me and don't shoot me, thanks. So
I grew up more rural, suburban area, so like
yeah,
a lot of back roads, and, a lot of crazy driving.
Yeah.
When you're used to that, you know how much your car can take. Don't follow my advice on this if you're listening.
Nobody,
go to a back road and speed, please.
Yeah, this is a PSA. Don't reckless
I was
driving.
young and dumb in high school.
We don't condone it. I mean, yeah, we've all done dumb crap, Yeah. Oh man. So anyways, my whole question of like buying things online, it's like, oh, like do you have any like game stores that you like? Do you have any that you have good memories of? So recently, if you follow my channel, I posted a little game hunting video a while back of some East Valley, Phoenix area stores, and there's probably my favorite place right now to visit for games is One Up Games in Mesa, but I do a fair amount of buying games online and crap myself as well, but it's just never quite as fun, I get it, you can get better deals online, and I've certainly gotten my good deals online. Obviously, I did not pay $300 for my copy of Snow Bros. I got it as part of some bundle for super cheap on eBay, and blah blah blah. I sniped it, yada yada yada. All that stuff's great, but there's just something so nice about the game store experience.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think there's a trade-off because like I do quite like again, I never really been inside like strictly retro game stores as much because there's none really around me.
Yeah.
So like the closest was like GameStop back when they actually sold retro shit,
When did they? Are you talking just like when GameCube was still in the store, or when they actually tried to do
pretty
that?
much.
Yeah.
Well, they did that like recently, like around the start of the pandemic.
Yes.
I want to say like 2021 maybe.
Yeah.
They started to do more retro stuff like certain stores, and the one near me was
Yeah.
only like 5 minutes away. That one was one of them that had like a retro section. It was just a shelf. Like it was just a shelf of like Wii and GameCube, occasionally GameCube games, and like Wii, PS3 games and shit. So it was quote unquote retro, which
some disc only PS2 games. Yeah. Whoop-de-doo.
But I did find some good stuff there, like Super Mario, Galaxy 2, and Twilight Princess for the Wii, and I was like, oh hell yeah, like. Because I was already looking for those games, and I got them for like $12.
Great.
And they were all like case, manual, and disc, and everything included. And I was like, oh hell yeah. But the flip side of that is when you're in a store, it's typically not from a collector. So if you really care about like specifically like damage or
Right.
like the quality of the item or the condition of the item rather,
Yeah.
then like going into a store is always going to be a gamble because again, it's not typically from a collector. Like a collector would sell online to try to get the best price
Yeah.
rather than typically take it into a used game store.
Some collectors, though, will just dump off everything and be like, I'm done
Yeah.
with this hobby, you know? I mean, that
Yeah,
happens.
that does happen. But I feel like if you really want to get like really good quality stuff, it's better shot to get it online.
Uh-huh.
Especially like if you can get like somebody who's like really thorough about it. Like I got the entire like dot hack iMock
Yeah.
thing from one dude. And
Yeah.
he was definitely a collector because he like put in the description like no pets, no smoking.
Most
nothing.
people who own those games,
Yeah.
too, or who own all four of those,
Yeah.
are going to be
Are
collectors.
collectors.
Yeah.
But like because and I got it for a good deal, I say, which is it was the most expensive purchase I have had on eBay, but it
Well,
was 4 games, so
They're brutal. They're brutal.
yeah.
Like 10 years ago, I bought Quarantine, and it was over $100. Like even 10 years
yeah,
ago,
it's
you know?
$300 now.
Yeah.
But granted, I got all 4 of them for like this is gonna be embarrassing to say. I got them for like $400.
That's still. I know the third one's
Yeah.
really expensive too. So only
Yeah,
the
the
first
third
one
one
is
is really expensive,
affordable. Yeah.
Yeah, but I got all 4 of them, and when I got them, they were in like pristine condition. Like I was like, holy shit, this doesn't look like these games.
DVDs too.
Yeah, DVDs and everything.
Yeah, I used to have them. You know, I had all 4. I sold them to our other buddy, but
Yeah. And it's like it's stuff like that where you can like get a good seller and stuff online. And I feel like it's easier to find that, and it's easier to like dispute a claim, like say like on eBay and stuff. Because I've gotten things where like the seller hasn't been, like when I tried to get Quarantine the first time, I got it and I received it, and the case was destroyed.
Oof.
And I was like,
was
oh man, this got destroyed in transit or something. Like the whole bottom of the case, the plastic was broken off.
Was the
I
artwork
was like-
messed up though?
No, the artwork was not messed up, and I was like,
So you
I
could
was
swap
like,
it.
Man. I was like, maybe I can get another case, but I spent like $300 on this, and when I was like, oh man, I was just like, and I like looked at the listing again, and I noticed that in the pictures that the seller had, you can see the broken case if you squint. He like angled it so you couldn't see the case broken. And I was
That's
like,
kind of
"Fuck
scummy.
this."
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, I'm getting a full refund on this shit. And even
Yeah.
like the seller was like, you can just buy like DMC2 for like $6. And I'm like, that doesn't matter. It's the principle now.
Yeah.
It's the I spent a lot of money on this, and you fucking said this shit was very good condition. This is
Oof.
not very good condition by eBay standards.
Not
dog.
at all. I mean,
It's
in
the
that
respect.
same case, in that same instance, he could have bought Devil May Cry 2, which is a 2-disc game,
Yeah.
right? For that's why he said DMC2 because it's got 2 discs, right?
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
do not own DMC2 on PlayStation 2. Don't really plan on it because that's like the only DMC game that I think is just straight up bad.
I have some things to say about that, but anyway, that's that. If we're talking about not hear me outs in terms of coitus, but hear me outs in terms of games that I kind of like, I would have to maybe put Devil May Cry 2. Yeah, I kind of like it, dude. I'll tell you about it in a second. But anyway,
Okay.
He could have done that too. Homeboy could have swapped
Yeah.
the case out before selling it if he's bitching at you to do it then, you know? So I have a
Yeah.
funny story though about an instance in which I got a game refunded. So Donkey Kong, just arcade Donkey Kong on NES has a bunch of different variants, right? There's just one called Donkey Kong, which is a black box game. Then there's Donkey Kong Jr., of course. But then there's separate games. But then there's one where
Donkey
it's
Kong
both
Senior,
of them.
which is he's very old.
And it's
and he
him.
can't throw those barrels like he used to.
Right. It's just a slowed down version of the game. No, but then there's Donkey Kong.
Jumpman's got a walker.
Yeah, seriously. Then there's Donkey Kong Classics, which is Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr. together. Mm-hmm. Do I own all 3? Yes. But anyway, so when I bought the just Donkey Kong, right, It's like a $40 game. It's kind of expensive now. Just regular black box Donkey Kong on NES, 5 screw, whatever. It's like a $40 game, and I saw somebody listed one for $18 a while ago. This has to be like 6 months ago at this point. And I immediately snagged it. I was like, that's an easy pickup. I already had classics, but I'm like, I can either keep this because it's technically a different release, so it technically counts for the set, or I could even just resell it because it had like a messed up back, but you can swap the back off. You know, you can always take the back off of another game and put it on. In this case, it had to be another 5-screw game, but like, all right, I got a Excite Bike, I can do that, you know. So I had considered doing that, but I got the game, and the seller clearly like did not check it at all, and it's okay because they listed it for so cheap, but the condition I believe was listed as either good or very good, and I opened it up and it looked like this thing was like the bottom of a shoe. I mean, it was filled with dirt. It was actually filled with dirt. Like, it looked like a dang playground in there. Like like some wood chips were in there. And the board was in horrific shape. And so I sent pictures of it to the seller, and I'm like, I don't think you knew this because you didn't put any pictures of this up, but this is in horrendous condition. And they refunded me. They, you know, it was fine.
Yeah.
They didn't fight me on it, unlike your guy who said, just swap it out with Devil May Cry 2. Yeah. But anyway, so I got it refunded, and I was like, you know what? I'm obviously not going to try and resell it at this point. But I was like, let's see if I can get it to work, you know? And I was scrubbing, and, you know, I got the dirt all off of it and stuff, and I actually did get it to play, but it, you know, it looks terrible, but I actually did get it to play, but it was so not what I paid for, so I still justify getting the refund, because, you know, that was not as advertised.
Yeah. No, I get, and I do think, like, I have had, like, good experiences with sellers. There's one that I was trying to get a PSP copy of Birth by Sleep.
Yeah.
Because I have the loose little UMD disc guy.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't have, like, the case and manual and stuff, so I was like, let me just, like, I couldn't find just the case and manual, so I was like, let me just it's not that expensive. Let me just, like, $20, let me just buy it. So I, like, found a seller that was, like, good quality, and I was, like, on eBay, and I was like, yeah, I'll get it. I got it. I had it shipped to me, and I opened it up, and I was like, this is Kingdom Hearts 3 on the PS4. I already own 2 copies of this.
Oh, man, yeah.
And I was like, I like messaged the seller back, and I'm like, hey, you sent me the wrong thing. And they were like incredibly like apologetic. They were like, how come they were like I didn't notice. I didn't even notice it. Can you like send it back, and I'll like fully refund you, and then when I put up the listing again, I'll like mention it to you so you can grab it.
Yeah.
We got it all handled out. I got the Birth by Sleep thing, and they were very like communicative throughout the whole process, and like very apologetic about it. I was like, listen, it's all right. It's like a genuine mistake.
Yeah, no, and things like that happen. And look, I can speak from both sides. You know, I've done a fair amount of eBay selling my entire life, pretty much. I started it very young.
Selling your toenail clippings and all that.
Yeah, of course, and my Cheeto shaped like Harambe that sold for $1 million. But anyway, I've sold games on eBay, especially when I was younger. When I didn't have a lot of money, I would sell games on eBay instead of trading them into GameStop because I figured out how to use eBay, and my dad helped me out, you know, with his account, and he would help me with the shipping and stuff. So I had a very good support system that way. So I've used eBay for super, super long, and have done buying and selling and, you know, things of that nature. And I mean, it's a difficult. A lot goes into it, you know, and it's a fairly difficult process, and it's easy to make the mistake of sending like the wrong game to somebody. I am like so nervous about doing that all the time, and I like triple check stuff. I have even psyched myself out so bad that I've had stuff packed up and have ripped it open just to make sure it was actually the right game, and then repacked it. Like it's that bad.
Yeah.
So I totally get it, but I have another funny eBay kind of, not horror story, that's a little dramatic, but an eBay seller that was none too good to me. I bought an Xbox 360 controller, and it was advertised as a black controller, not one of the all black.
And you got shipped. And you got shipped that Mega Man game that you hate.
I got shipped a copy of Mega Man 8. Yeah. if that happened,
like, no.
I'm like, what do they know?
Yeah, like what's the SpongeBob line with the the educational television?
Oh no! Educational television.
Yeah, that's you with Mega Man 8.
Yeah. And now back to KRUD with your all. You won't be getting away with stealing my car hits. Basically that. Giant clams. Anyway, so
cheese graters.
Yeah. I bought an Xbox 360 controller, and I bought a black one, not one of the cool all black ones. There's a kind of an ugly 360 controller that is black with the gray sticks. I think it looks terrible.
No, I think my brother had that one, yeah.
Ugh, I hate the way they look. The black with the black sticks looks great. That was, when they made the Slim, that came out. I think the black and gray was for the Elite, which is I think it looks terrible. But anyway, I just needed one because I was actually selling an Xbox 360, but I didn't have the controller to sell with it. So I bought this, cheap one. It's still a first-party controller, but black with gray sticks, whatever, who cares? Somebody else is going to get it anyway. And the seller sends me a blue controller with a white back. Like a white battery compartment. And I'm like, this doesn't match. And it's not at all the thing that was advertised in the listing. And then they just were like, oh, I'll send you another back then. And I'm like, okay. I would have just liked it if you sent me the thing I ordered in the first place.
Yeah.
So really, really strange. Just some strange characters like that. And, you would think that the game stores would be better than would be above doing some crap like that to people. So that's the other benefit of the game store experience.
It's you gotta take what you're looking for, and and there's also, I mean, a benefit to ordering online is that you can get different regional versions too. Like I got a lot of from my Trails collection, I got a lot of Japanese versions.
Totally. Tons of imports.
I also use PlayAsia a lot for
Oh,
like I mentioned,
man.
for
yes.
like a Dragon Gaiden, because the North American version does not have a physical copy. So, but I have a ton of games that are the Japanese or Asian region English versions that we never got a North American version for, physical.
Yeah. No, PlayAsia is an awesome website. I used to, God, you saying that just brought me back. I haven't thought about that website in a hot minute, but dude, that
free shipping for orders over $100.
Yeah.
You can get 5 games and get free shipping.
Yeah. That website was great. I used to use them pretty frequently too. More for toys, I think. For the Nindoroid toys that would come out in Japan and would not necessarily come out in America. I had a bunch of Nindoroids.
I collect figurines, especially Turtles.
Do they have Nindoroids?
I don't.
I used to use Ami too.
Yeah, I don't particularly I'm a little weird with the figures that I collect, because I don't like the ones you can pose and stuff, because I don't like seeing the joints.
Oh yeah, and the Nendoroids are pretty posable, huh?
Well, the Nendoroids, from what I remember, they're the chibi ones, right?
Yes, and they
those
are
also the ones. Yeah, they also can pose and stuff, but the chibi ones I'm not that big of a fan of.
I had the Mario and Luigi Nendoroids. They were freaking awesome.
Yeah, so I typically get the scale figures and stuff, or I also have the there's model kits for the there's mechs in the Trail series.
Very nice.
Yes. And one company is basically, it seems like they're making all 7 of them. So I have, or at least have 2 of them, and then I pre-ordered the 3rd one that they made. So hopefully they make all 7, because that'd be dope.
You use first 4 figures ever? You one of those guys? You one of the elites?
No.
Do you know about first 4 figures?
Don't think so.
Oh, let me see if they're still in business. First 4 figures. I think that I would imagine they are because their figures are cost like $1 million.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
looks
I'm
like they're
not.
still
I'm
around.
just. I just get just like fucking. It's legitimately like my collection is like it's Trails figures. I have. I think it's 2 Persona 5 figures to both On. Like I said, I love On. It's my favorite
Right.
character in that whole series. And then I have. Oh boy.
Is this another hear me out? What?
I have, and people who are
I
coming
love
from
how
your
we're
channel
prefacing this
are
one.
not gonna be ready for this because I am at least if you follow me on Twitter and if you know me from like a bit of my channel, especially the Smash or Pass video, you know I'm a bit of a gooner, you know how it is. I'm more of a
You're a bit of
gamer
a
than I am
what?
a gooner, but a gooner.
A gooner?
Yeah,
You describe
I'm more of a
yourself that
gamer
way?
than I am a gooner, but I got a little bit of that in me.
Uh-huh.
So the other figure I have is a Rias Gremory bunny figure.
What is that, bro? How do you spell
Rias
that?
Gremory from High School DxD. It was one
How
of
you
my favorite
spell it?
series. High School DxD.
No, how do you spell the character?
Oh,
Do I know how to spell high
I
school?
was like, you don't know how to spell it? Rias Gremory.
Rias Gremory, like GR, like memory,
Yeah,
but Gremory.
Grem.
I got it. Yeah, that's a character.
Yep. No, because that would have been when I was younger. I would have considered that to be like a guilty pleasure anime for me. Now I'm just like, man, that's
A lot of
actually
people.
fucking good.
Yeah, a
Like-
lot of
like,
people
it
that I went to high
legitimately-
school with. Yeah.
Yeah, like obviously like boobies, like all that stuff.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
also, legitimately a good story. Like the main character goes through a lot of growth and stuff, and the like all the factions and stuff at play. And I'm like, man, it's weird. You think about the person that wrote this is like they made this thing. It's very horny, obviously.
Uh-huh,
But at the same
uh-huh.
time, you're like they did a lot of world building too, which I appreciate.
That's always what I've heard about it. So
Yeah.
real quick too,
Anyway,
I linked you, and people who know, if you know, you know. To give you kind of an example of what First 4 Figures is and how I said, oh, are you one of the elites? Click on that Shadow the Hedgehog figure. That's like on the front page. That's like what they're advertising is this like awesome Shadow figure. Take a look at it. Take a look at the price.
Jesus fucking Christ. That's not. You know what? That's not as bad as. Let me see if I can find it.
Not all their figures are like that. I don't want to put them in a bad light because I do think that they're a cool company. But they have, check this purple Samus out. This one's awesome. This is $165, which is like, all right, if I was splurging on a figure, I would get this one. But the Figma Samus for like $50 was my figure of choice for Samus back in the day. The Figma Samus figure was pretty awesome.
Jesus.
But it was very posable, so you probably wouldn't like it.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude. Okay. Hold on.
I'm
Let
like
me see
a
if I can find
$90
the actual
KK
retail
slider.
price of this, because now it's $13,000. But let me see if I can
my
find the
God.
actual retail price.
What figure is this? Is this some like kite figure or something from back in the
No.
day?
This was released recently.
Oh dear.
Okay. Let me see if I can find like a news article about it because I can't seem to find the actual price. I don't. If it retailed at 13,000, that's just ridiculous.
What character?
Hold on. I'm gonna try to see if I can find.
Tell me it's Sonic the Hedgehog.
No.
$13,000 Sonic figure. Please let it be real. The fans would buy
I think
it too.
did
man.
it actually retail at 13,000? All right, I'm just gonna send it to you.
Let's just assume.
Yeah, let me see. It's the It's the Final Fantasy VI Terra scale statue.
Oh. I gotcha. That's a heavy hitter.
It is a yeah. God damn, it's $24,000 on eBay.
Talking about price of a car at this point.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna need a 4-year loan.
I got
for this
$24,000
thing.
in my bank account.
Yeah.
You gotta pull out a mortgage for that one.
Yeah, seriously. Oh my God, they have a Samus.
You can explain your Devil May Cry 2.
Oh sure, but real quick, they have a Samus helmet that is $535. First 4 figures. So they've got some just insane ones. Some that are slightly more affordable, but they're the high end for sure of figure collecting. But they look phenomenal. So, anyways, why do I like Devil May Cry 2? Because when you turn into that devil mode and you hold down the gun button and it goes and you just melt through enemies, it's pretty fun. I actually think it has
the devil trigger in that game is very good. Like it's customizable, and you have the module form, whatever the hell it's called.
Yep, I do genuinely like the devil trigger in that game, and I also think the game has some really cool environments, especially early in the game. There's some outdoor areas that are really spooky looking and are just
like Italy or wherever the hell you're at.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking of. Yeah, dude, really cool. And obviously, I mean, dog, it's still Devil May Cry. It's got a banging soundtrack. Like, get at me. So, I do think it's obviously, I mean, Devil May Cry 3 is freaking awesome and yada yada yada, and the first game's pretty fun too. But the first game, you start off and you're in the castle or whatever, and it's dark, blah 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 blah. But the second game, you're ooh, I'm outside, Yeah. So it's been a long time since I've played that game though. So I might play it again and be like, this game sucks.
This game is dookie. I just remember playing that game and then getting to the end of it and then being like, oh, I can play the game as the girl character.
Yeah.
I don't want to play this game for another minute.
There are 2 discs. The second disc is playing as the girl. That's it.
Yeah.
That's why I
just played through Dante's stuff and I was like, I can't, man. I legit cannot.
That's why your scumbag seller told you to buy a copy of DMC2 and swap your iMock out or your Quarantine out.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's. I think that DMC2 and the reboot are definitely the 2 worst DMC games.
Oh, the reboot, dude. The only thing that I like about the reboot is, it's not called Mass Destruction. It's called Never Surrender by Combi Christ or whatever is in that game. It's just
that's
outrageous.
DMC4.
That's in the reboot, dog.
The song?
Never Surrender?
Yeah, there's a song called Never Surrender, DMC4.
But it's a real... No. This is a Screamo song. No, it's in the reboot. I'll link it to you. You want to frickin'...
Yeah, weird. I got 2 songs called Never Surrender DMC.
Yeah, right? I'm like, that might cry 4, but you want to frickin'...
That was the credits scene from Devil May Cry 4.
Oh no! This is an edgelord song. I'll give you this. Have never ever played DMC the reboot. I've never played that game. Why would I? Look at Dante. Look at freaking. Come on, man! I ain't playing that. Yeah.
I actually played it for the first time this year.
12 years later, right?
I heard people were like, this game. I heard people this game is overhated. Obviously, it's not as good as the other Devil May Cry games, story-wise, but the combat's one of the best in the series.
Well, people lost their minds over it back then, so yeah.
I played it, and I was like, the story isn't as bad as I thought it would be.
Right.
I still don't think these characters are Dante and Virgil and all that shit, but whatever. It's not, for what it is, it's not bad. The gameplay is worse than I thought it would be.
Oh,
no. Weapon switching is so damn awkward.
Yeah.
Because you have to hold down the button, the trigger button for your angelic weapon. You got to hold down the L2 button and your demon weapons. You got to hold down the R2. It just didn't feel right. I much prefer the weapon switching from DMC4 or DMC5 a hell of a lot more. Those ones, especially the combos you can do in DMC5 with Dante. So much fun.
Yeah. I've never played that one either.
DMC5 for me it's in contention with DMC3 as the best in the series, but I still like 3 the most.
I love me some 3, man. I haven't played any of those games in so long. That probably needs to change. I love me some 3.
Yeah, and the soundtrack for 5 is phenomenal.
Is it? I gotta listen to it then.
Yeah.
You can, if you want to link me like your favorite. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the one that everybody does is oh hey, look at that! It was in the recommended for the song that you just sent me.
Some DMC5
playlist. Bury the Light, which is the Virgil theme. For like the Virgil like DLC that they did, his like battle theme. That shit is so good.
Yeah, but you know how good Virgil's theme is.
And DMC3.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. What's it called? What's it called?
I think it's just called Virgil Battle, right? Like I think that's what it's called.
Oh, is it?
I'm pretty sure it's just like Virgil Battle 2 or some shit.
Yeah, no, it's the one that they used in Marvel vs. Capcom then. Yeah. Oh, because it's his theme in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and when you hear that and you're not playing as him, you're like, oh god, here comes the swords. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
Is it Devils Never Cry? That's like the DMC3 theme.
Yeah.
That's like the one where they got and that was one of the best in the series. That's the one where they got like they got the one dude with like that angelic voice who's like singing his heart out, and they got the other dude in the background just like you're like, oh hell yeah.
It's so accurate. I think it was Virgil Battle 2. They used like the melody from it in Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the third Virgil Battle's all epic and stuff, but the second
that
one
was like
has
the sad music.
Yeah, the second theme they took and remixed it for Marvel vs. Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and I was a cheap bastard and would pick Virgil and Zero on my team in Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and if you've ever played that game, you know that. You know what I'm talking about, and you probably hate me for saying that, so...
it's like, what was it, Metal Knight, or Meta Knight from one of the Smash games. You could just do like the
Brawl
or whatever, and everybody's like, stop.
Meta Knight was banned because he was like triple S tier or something in Brawl, and it's like, yep.
I played through like all of Ultimate, like I unlocked all the characters. I did the whole World of Light shit and stuff.
Yeah.
I still suck at that game.
I will forever be terrible at Smash. Real quick though, maybe one of the most underrated things of all time in the entire Smash Bros. Series, and something that I have phenomenal childhood memories with, the frickin' Subspace Emissary, baby, from Brawl. Did you play that?
Yeah. I did not. I never actually. The only time I played Brawl was when I would go to a friend's house and we'd like play Brawl, like multiplayer.
So
because it was Melee for me as a kid, and then I completely skipped over Brawl, and then whatever the hell the fourth one is called,
Smash 4.
And I got Ultimate like later when I saw that they were doing like, I think it was when they released God. The hell, one of the DLC characters I was from a series that I really liked. I'm trying to think of who it was.
Right.
It might have been Sephiroth. Yeah, I think it was Sephiroth, and then I bought Ultimate, and I was like, all right, sure. And then I got all the DLC for it, and then they announced Sora, and I was like, oh, hell yeah.
Right. So, I had Brawl as a kid, and funny enough, I had a friend who would come over to my house, because I was the kid with all the video games, and said friend was like one of the only friends who did not have a Wii, but he really wanted to play Brawl. And he would come over and we would co-op the Subspace Emissary. We did it all the way through. We did the whole thing all the way through. And that is such a fun little story mode. And I really want to get it again and play through that with my girlfriend, because I'm not going to like competitively play Smash Bros. With her, bro. I'm not going to be like, all right, you've never played this game before? Let me break out old Marthy Marth on Melee and whoop your ass. I'm not going to do that. So the Subspace Emissary would be the perfect thing for me and her to do. Because she likes the Wii. So, if I'm like, hey, let's play this game on the Wii together. It's fun. You jump around and kick Goombas,
Yeah. Yeah, it's... Hey, I never played Brawl, Subspace Emissary, but I do know that the story...
You know what it is.
I know what it is, and I know a lot of people love it. I know a lot of people are disappointed that there hasn't really been a good story mode in Smash since.
Yeah, it's so good. But we're at like an hour and 10 minutes here.
Yeah.
So we can wrap it up. Just want to leave it off with that Subspace Emissary comment. Yeah. We could talk about Devil May Cry all frickin' night, man. I swear, but and Smash. But we should probably wrap up the podcast episode. So I'm gonna
Dante's
do that
Devil Form would hear me out.
Smash. I'm gonna leave you with a sports one. Actually, all right. Look it up if you're listening. Look it up. Western Kentucky University. I believe their team name is the Hilltoppers, but their mascot is Big Red. Big Red, smash or pass.
All right, hold on. Big Red, Kentucky.
Western Kentucky.
Who wants it?
Western Kentucky. Look it up.
Western Kentucky mascot.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. So would.
Smash.
So would.
It's
Smash,
basically
hardest smash of my
Grimace.
life.
It's basically
Red Grimace.
It's Red Grimace, man.
Dude, I would go to town on Big Red.
I hope that everybody knows that this is a joke. But
Yes.
the internet, you can never tell. But
I don't actually want to have sex.
engage in coitus with Big Red.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Wink, wink. I swear to God. So they actually did a really cool thing with their football helmets. They have helmets where, based on your position, so if you're like a wide receiver, they have a picture on the helmet of Big Red.
I was going to be a wide receiver, me, after I get your Big Red.
Christ, Brian. If you are the quarterback, they have a picture of Big Red, like throwing the ball. And then if you're like an offensive lineman, they have a picture of Big Red like doing a 3-point stance, you know, like on the helmet. Like they actually like not animated, but they drew different like images of Big Red like playing each position, and then they put it on the corresponding helmets for each position, which is so freaking awesome. And it's just, I love that they lean into their absolutely hilarious mascot. So look up Big Red if you don't know.
Just do push-ups.
Yeah, basically. I mean, every college mascot does push-ups. It's not even unique. All right, I'm going to wrap up the podcast with good old Big Red Smasher Pass. So thank you all so much for tuning in, and we will see you next month.
Yep, thanks for listening.